Venu?
Sir. I'm audible, sir?
Yes. You are audible, Venu. Yeah.
Are you audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear. Sir, how do we turn on the video here?
Video. Let me see. 1 second.
Yeah, sure, sir.
I'll try making you a presenter. Probably then you might be able to turn on. Okay. Now looks like I can only let one presenter.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, Amar, I think you have full control. So we have a
We
minor
start, sir?
technical. Yeah. Please start. Yeah, I think we are ready.
Um, Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Jason, for providing us this platform to share our experience, whatever we have faced, interview experiences in IISc. Also, we are dealing with some admission procedure related queries of students. So, myself, Venu Jain, I'm currently pursuing my MTech in Biomedical Engineering in IIT Madras. And also, uh, one of my friend here is Amar Kumar. He is in IISc pursuing his MTech in bioengineering. And we have Sanjiv Acharya here. He is doing his MTech in instrumentational engineering in IISc. So, our today's agenda is we are going to first, um Amar will take over from me and he'll just go with a brief description of about the admission procedure of Mtech Ms program in IISc Bangalore. Then we are going to share our experiences, whichever we have deal with in our previous year interview related to bioengineering, instrumentational engineering, robotics, uh, then product designing, which comes under cpdm. So now i'll um, I'll invite Amar Kumar. So he will start today's he'll start today's webinar by presenting his PPT on MS and Tech admission procedure of IISc Bangalore.
Kevin, thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity to introduce admission procedure related to the IISc Bangalore. Now I'm sharing my screen. Mhm. As all we know, IISc is one of the prominent institute all over India. We all know about this history, so I'm not going into this. And this is the timeline. So I suggest you to, after this webinar, please fill the form according to your information, and please visit the IISc official websites and make use of admission process. So the admission form deadline has been extended up to till 25 March. So and so you don't have to worry about any COAP whether a COAP is not open, and so do we have to apply or not. So they will open a window for updating the COAP ID. So it will be up to 17 April. You can upload your COAP ID. So don't worry about the COAP. Just go and try to submit your application form before 25. If you once cross the deadline, nobody can do anything. And for interview related, for MTech interviews, they are scheduled tentatively between 14 to 17. For a specific date and time, they are mentioning in your call letter. So this is the tentative time in which you can expect your interview, MTech interview, 14 to 17 April. And MTech research interview will be held on the May, first week or second week of May, second or in between May. You can expect MTech research interviews. And this is the cutoff of MTech research, and the various programs which you are willing to apply. So go to the IISc website. They upload their cutoff for the last few years. You can see the number, and this is the official link. You can go and check whether you are applicable or not. So don't worry about this is the past data. These are not predicting your um, this year you will got an admission or not, because this, don't worry about this. Just go check in which department, what's the last year cutoff, last 5-year cutoffs. Go every program like MTech, MDes, there is a from 2015 to 2024, there are cutoff list for every years. For MTech, MS in life sciences, M engineering, this was introduced last year courses, so you can only see 2024 cutoffs. So these are the applicable branches for GATE BMs. If they accept like MTech in bioengineering, they can take admission through GATE BM, which is offered by the Center for Biosystem and Science Engineering. MTech in instrumentation system, which is offered by Instrumentation and Applied Physics. MTech in semiconductor technology, which is offered by the Science Department. And MTech in quantum technology, which is offered by the Instrumentation and Applied Physics. And MTech in robotics and autonomous systems, which are offered by Robot Boss Center for Physical Systems. And another MTech program is offered in smart manufacturing, which is offered by the CPDMs. Along with it, it's also offered the MDes program, which is basically product design development management. And there is one new course introduced last year by the Science Department, which is Masters in Engineering in Semiconductor Technology. It's it's for only 1 year, so you can look into this. And there is so many MTech research programs. Like this MTech program usually occurs for 2 years, but MTech research programs, it's up to 3. Its programs timeline is 3 years, so you can apply in this department: atmospheric and ocean sciences, chemical engineering, civil engineering, computer CDS departments, electrical and communication engineerings, electrical engineering, material engineering, mechanical engineering, designs and manufacturing, cyber physical systems, manufacturing science, water research. Along with IISc also accept GATE Biomedical as a course in admission for Master in Science in Life Sciences. So if you have a good, if you have interest in life sciences researches, you can try this one. And this is the admission process. So firstly, it will accept your, it will take your GATE score and shortlisting based on it. And once they release a cutoff list or the cutoff list for 2025, according to it, if you are clearing the cutoff, institutional cutoff, they are send you a call letter in which it was mentioned that there will be a written test or not, or just a solely interview. maximum department uses 70% gate score as and 30% interview in their MTech admissions procedure. So no interview will be conducted in a MTech Semiconductor Technology and Master in Engineering, which is 1-year course. These are solely based on your gate score. 100% gate score is considered. So next is the area of study. Like if you have a interest in biomaterials, tissue engineering, drug delivery, computational biology, communicable, non-communicable diseases like cancers, biology, data sciences in biology, molecular medical imaging. So this will fit for your bioengineering department. If you don't have this much interest, so I think you should not give much priority to the bioengineering. You have to check the interest list which fit for you. Like if you have an interest on instrumentation, sensors, medical imaging, so firstly go for the instrumentation and applied physics. And as I mentioned, I'm from the bioengineering. Bioengineering mostly deal with the weights lab. There is some dry lab like computational biology where you can get mostly working on their computational biology in cancers, like they are drug discovery, genetics engineering. So you can get an idea in bioengineering like this. And for better studies, area of study, I would suggest that Sanjiv will tell you about the instrumentation and applied physics, which is so Sanjiv, please can you introduce the area of study which are doing in the instrumentation and applied physics?
Sure. Thank you, Amar. So basically, it is a very interdisciplinary department, IAP. So like he had mentioned earlier, we have actually 3 broad categories of MTech. One is in the instrumentation systems, the other being quantum technology, and the third one being cryogenic technology. So there is a separate building, I think, for that called a Center for Cryogenic Technology. So basically, I can talk about instrumentation systems and probably a little about quantum technology as well. So when it comes to instrumentation systems, the MTech. So I'll talk about both the MTech research and the PhD. So when it comes to MTech, basically what we study, like I said, it is interdisciplinary. So we have subjects that you basically have a lot of choices. So let us say you are interested to take up something in core biomedical, then you have option for optics, biomedical optics and spectroscopy, or even lasers, and something called as a terahertz communication, something called, and even our professors are working in on things like so maybe you would have seen yesterday that there was an article on Hindu where the Hindu newspaper where our professors have developed a new photoacoustic imaging to detect the blood glucose. So these are the kind of things that they're working on. So another area in which they're working on is something like I can say a combination of biomedical and electronics. Like one is building a edible pill which can actually get into your stomach and then image the regions, and it avoids the need to do endoscopy at all. So that is another area. So another one of my professors is also working on basically building a small portable and affordable device, biomedical device to detect sickle cell anemia. So these are the kind of study. We also do a research on cancer, cancer cure. So wherein I said, as I mentioned earlier, so this photoacoustic imaging is trying to now also cure cancer cells instead of providing chemotherapy. So these are the kind of biomedical areas that we focus on. So in MTech, we have courses from signal processing, control systems, biomedical, also from a bit of semiconductor technology, semiconductor physics. If you are interested in electronics, even we have courses in electronics related to VLSI design and all that. And you're free to choose that. Okay. So, however, in the first semester, you'll have 5 courses compulsory, and in the next semester, you'll be having 1 course compulsory. So apart from these 6 courses, you are free to choose whatever you want. If you're someone who's interested into developing embedded systems for biomedical applications, so we have one professor who is working with the Center for Neuroscience. So he is developing some gate analysis based embedded system. So ours is very interdisciplinary. You can see a combination of electronics, biomedical, and maybe electrical instrumentation, everything there. So that is about the MTech. So coming to the PhD, there are a lot many more options which are actually more focused on precision, nanoscale positioning, and all that. We are also developing some super capacitances and all that. So this is about our department. So coming to quantum technology, although I'm not very aware of, but my MTech project falls in that domain. So it is basically, developing some electronics and even for, like these quantum sized stuff. So let us say we know that light is a quantum, it is a form of quantum radiation. So how do we develop radars? So we already have radars in the Indian Army, which can detect objects. So how do you detect? How do you develop radars that can, which are more intense by making use of quantum technology? So something like that. So you also have heard of quantum computing. So these are the broad areas that quantum technology deals with. So and I'm sorry, I don't know much about cryogenic technology. It's something completely new. It was launched a year ago, I guess. So I'm not even sure of who has been enrolled for the program. So this is about IAP.
Thank you, Sanjiv. And you get an opportunity in Amtech in semiconductor technology, where they work on basically macro or nano fabrications, where you use different type of characterizations tool like AFM, SEM, TEM, different and hand-on training inside the class 100 clean rooms. They are working on fabrication of nanoelectronics, photonics, micro system embed and packagings, interdisciplinary courses. They offer like MEMS, names, biosensors, nano, microfluidics, so many different type of works going inside the science department. You get a very good exposure in semiconductor technologies. And another is robotics and autonomous systems. This is one of the I think this they accepting as a GATE BM as a course. So you get a good exposure in AI for robotics, like control and optimizations, statistical signal processing. Their study of area is this computer visions, reinforcement learning, robotics controls, and they are and they are doing so many modes which are not fit in this list. So you can check their websites and find your interest if it's fall inside this, and you can apply for this one. And another is a smart manufacturing, which is offered by the Center for Product Design and Management, CPDM department. And they are working areas in the digital and smart manufacturing. How can you make this is basically this work on the interface of research and industries. So how can research can be transformed into the industry and make a industrial manufacturing? So you can get good exposure in this area. And this was the MTech Masters in Engineering Semiconductor Technology. This was introduced last year, and this is also offered by the Science Department, and you get a very good idea about during these courses, and their area of studies, characterizations, micro nano fabrications, as last in for semiconductor technologies. So I would MDes, basically MDes are master in designing in product design and development management. So area of studies there are product designing and engineering. They are using engineering tools and aspect of how can be product can design better and make a industrial translations in good way. So this is also offered by the CPDM department, and uh, there is another course called Master in Science in Life Sciences. So anybody who have a good interest, find their good interest in deep depth of the biology. This is a more soft, pure science courses like biologies. So where there you can work on the biochemistry, biophysics, cell and developmental biology, microbiology, infectious diseases, neurosciences. So this is a basically MSc is offered by the biological sciences division of biological sciences. So these are all are the area of studies. So you can apply three department in your application form as you giving priority. If you selecting bioengineering as a first, then you are giving priority to bioengineering first, and so on. So Firstly, check your interest, which fit you more, and give according to priority in your admission form. And if they also please read the brochure in which they mention that if someone is qualified in preference ones, they are not going to see your interviews or marks for preference 2 or 3. So please fill your choices very precisely, so that you can get your desirable branches here. So as we all are here for the interview experiences, what we have, so I applied it first in bioengineering and instrumentation applied physics. I got call letter for this, and I give an interview in both the department. And at bioengineering, you will be asked question from maths, biology, and one or two of your two or I think there's one or two your favorite subjects. Like it must be, if you cannot ask like, tell I have digital electronics at bioengineering department. You have to tell about your interest in bioengineering department, like biomaterials, biomechanics, something like this subject which is oriented with their research work. So I would suggest you to prepare for maths, because maths is the compulsory subjects in all this department. Because I have gone to the IIP department for interview, they ask question from maths without expecting that you are telling maths as your favorite subject. So in maths, basically they ask question from the plotting, like they give you a function and tell you that please plot it. Like they give you a exponential functions, product of exponential function and sinusoidal functions, and how they you can plot. Basically they don't want you to plot, they want to know that how are you going to approach this problem. So and in bioengineering department, from biology, they are asking you to tell you your favorite topics. Like I tell that homeostasis. So they are asking me what is homeostasis, why this is necessary, how can this help in a biological system. Give me example. They ask some basic questions. They are not going to depth of the biology, but they want to know, if you are telling this as your favorite topics, you have some idea about it. And I, along with this, I tell as biomaterial is my favorite subject. So they are asking me question from biomaterials, like what is biomaterials, why it's needed, which materials we called as a biomaterials, when biomaterial is uses, where biomaterials not fit for uses. Like this type of question you can expect from them. And these interviews will last I think 10 to 15 minutes. They will not give you more than this. So please don't waste time during that. Please give me 1 minute. I will don't try to recall in the middle of the interview. Just tell them I don't know, I forget it, so that you can maximize the use of your time. And I think Sanjiv is better for explaining the experience of the IIP interviews. Sanjiv, please,
Yeah,
can you explain your IIP interviews?
yeah, sure. So, like you said, like Amar was telling, math is very important, and they assume that despite whether you tell it is your favorite subject or not, so they'll anyway ask you math. So in IAP, the way interviews happen, like I told, it is a very interdisciplinary branch, right? So they'll give you the freedom to choose your subjects. However, there is one condition that you should ensure that whatever subjects you're choosing, there will be some panelists. Like I think in my case, there were 4 or 5 people who were sitting in the panel. So it should be within their domain. For example, maybe, I don't know, let us say that you go and say DSA, data structure and algorithm. Maybe no panelist will be having expertise in that area. It is unlikely. I don't know, there might be. So it will be difficult for them to quiz you or judge you on that. So please focus on, like if you're from biomedical engineering, probably you can take maybe sensors and bioinstrumentation, medical imaging, or something like that. That is fine. So choose your subjects. Although you have a choice, still even within that broad area, you need to be picky and choose 3 subjects, excluding mathematics. So it is not including mathematics, 3 subjects plus mathematics. So that'll give you a very good chance of getting selected, because let us say you don't answer in one subject, you can probably answer even in the other subject. So what they asked me was that they didn't ask me directly to plot a graph in math, but what they gave me is like a kind of a problem wherein they told me that you imagine that an aeroplane is taking off, and then it is flying in the air, and then it is landing. So you need to plot a graph of horizontal acceleration versus time, vertical acceleration versus time, and horizontal acceleration versus vertical acceleration. So this was a kind of intuitive question they asked. It is very natural for anyone to get panicked, so they do not expect you to answer it fully correctly, although you may feel in the interview that they are actually trying to do that, but they care more about your approach. So they are interested to know how you approach the question. Okay, so no one will be judging you over there, or they're all very polite people. In fact, every department, everyone is very polite, so you don't have to get scared. You need to just maintain your cool and try to understand what they are asking and try to give your best shot at it. Okay, so that was a difficult question. That is difficult for everyone, not just you, given that you're in the pressure and all that. So that is fine. They also understand that. So that was from math, and I had also chosen signals and systems. So in signals and system, they basically asked me a quite simple question. One was that, how do you prove that convolution in time domain is multiplication in frequency domain? So that was the question that they asked. So this is a straightforward derivation. And coming to control systems was also pretty straightforward. They asked me, what is a Bode plot? Why are we trying to draw a Bode plot for closed loop transfer function? I mean, for a loop transfer function, why not for the closed loop transfer function? Why are we using logarithm on the scale? What is the use of using logarithm on the scale? So they are more interested in general. Take any interview, be it IISc or IIT or NIT or anything. What they're more interested in is you need to know the why and how of every concept that you've studied so far. So that is very important. So like you need to know why that particular formula has come, why exactly I'm using that particular formula. You cannot by heart and go a formula there. You have to actually sit and derive it and work through it and try to understand why it is happening in an intuitive and a mathematical way. So that is very important. It is not that you just mug up something and then just go and tell in front of them. They don't care. They ask you questions that test your core fundamentals. For example, I was also asked a question saying, why are the poles on right half of the S-plane unstable? Why does it make the system unstable? So you need to give a both mathematical and an intuitive explanation. So whatever kind of question they ask, prepare yourself in such a way that you are ready to answer it in a mathematical way if they ask for it, or an overview and an intuitive way so that even a layman can understand what is happening over there. So this was my experience at IAP.
Thank you, Sanjeev. And I would like to invite Venu for their experience at cpdm.
So before cpdm, like I applied for 3 departments there previous year, which is bioengineering, IAP, and cpdm, product designing. So I get interview call letter from all the 3 departments. So for bioengineering and IAP, Sanjiv and Amar well defined the interview experiences. Like I faced the same, relatively same experience there. Like the primary things I would say that being confident in the interview is the main criteria. Whatever you are answering, just be confident. So apart from that, like if I'm talking about CPDM, which is I'm MDes in product designing. So in that, first we have a test which is not completely written test, but an spatial aptitude kind of test where you don't have to like write the exam or any MCQ, MSQ kind of question. It is just an to check your ability of how you're like dealing with spatial related things. Like I get a task where I have to design a structure which is shown in the projector only. I have to replicate the same thing with the help of different papers, and some tools were also given. So, but one thing is that they have not given a scale to measure, they have not given scissor to cut. So, but they have mentioned like you have to be specific that the length should be like suppose 5 centimeter or something. So you have to be uh, you have to deal with it without using scale or any tool. So like those kind of tasks were there in the test. After that, whatever the product you build, you have to take that and go to the interview panel. So in front of interview panel, in my time there were two professors were there. So first they would ask whatever you have made, whatever the task you got and what you made, why you have chosen this method to build that. So like you have to explain all that. Then they will first go with some basic question related to like spatial aptitude kind of basic questions, and also they will check your thinking ability, like you have heard whatever the questions sometimes asked in UPSC related things, UPSC related interviews. So spatial questions were they asked, and after that they told me ki, like choose your favorite subject, like two favorite subjects in biomedical engineering, because I have done my BTech in biomedical engineering. So I have choose sensors and biomechanics. So because they asked me what UG project you have done, so my UG project was morely based on sensor and instrumentation. So they have choose like sensors. So they asked me some basic, but something about like more thinking questions related to sensors, like why you have only used that sensor to build your instrument, or why shouldn't we go for any other sensor, what is the difference between those two, what are the principles they have used in that sensors. So like that kind of questions. So the interview experience was all over really good. Like you will be able to learn many things there. Um, yeah, so this is all about CPDM, and other than this, like Sanjeev Acharya has given his interview in robotics as well as quantum. So I would like to call Sanjeev Acharya. He will share about his experience in those two departments.
Sure. Thank you. So yeah, I'll start with robotics first. So because that like that was one of the departments which I was also interested in. So robotics doesn't ask you much actually. I feel that relatively compared to IAP and quantum, robotics interview was a little smoother because they initially ask you to upload a PPT. I mean, that was how it was last year. So they initially ask you to upload a PPT of your project, your final year project, and then they submit a Google form on that. And on the day of interview, what they do is that they'll ask you to prepare mathematics pretty well. So in mathematics, I'll also tell you what to prepare. So they'll tell you, they emphasize on linear algebra and probability. So please prepare that very well. Okay. Please study those two topics very well. For linear algebra, I would suggest you go through Gilbert Strang's lecture of MIT. They're very good. You can find it on YouTube. For probability, I think Jaivel sir has, even for linear algebra, sir has already given exhaustive set of resources, so you can follow that. So, but whatever you're studying, you please study it in the very in-depth manner as much as you can for a BTech guy. So they ask you questions from that. I would also suggest that once you finish that, you don't just finish your preparation for linear algebra and probability, but also go with calculus, because that is equally important. You never know, they'll ask you to draw a graph or whatever. So when it comes to math, I would say, especially for robotics, You study all the topics of math, however, prioritize linear algebra and probability more. That is what I want to emphasize. So they asked me questions from my project, and he'll also ask you things like, what are the improvements that you think that you can do in the future? What are the shortcomings of a project? Explain the working. You explain me what results you've plotted. What is this graph? Why is it coming like that? So all those kind of things. You need to be very thorough in and out of your project. So that was about the project. And coming to interview, when he started linear algebra, I don't quite remember exactly what he asked, but it was mainly based on row transformation, column transformation, row vectors, and linear transformations, and what things are happening, how can you visualize it, what are vectors, those kind of typical things based on matrices and linear transformation. So what they do is that they ask you one question and they kind of keep modifying it, like adding varieties and adding complexities to that. So they actually try to test you till the maximum, till your breaking point. And once you say that no, it's not, I'm not able to answer, they'll probably throw a few clues at you. If you cannot catch that, then they'll probably switch to another question. So robotics is all about math and your project. I don't know how it is going to be this year, but I also suggest that you kind of also prepare for control systems well, because control systems is the core of robotics. It is the heart of robotics. So if your attempt, just to be on a safer side, I would suggest that if you're going for robotics, then please prepare control systems mathematics well and be thorough with your UG project. So coming to quantum technology is a slightly different ball game altogether. So again, they also test you on mathematics, on your basic graph knowledge and everything, calculus, everything. What they also test you on is, for us, it was like last year they told that you need to know quantum physics of your till your engineering level. So in engineering first year, everyone had this basics of quantum physics and all that, right? So where we learned how to derive the Schrodinger wave equation, infinite well potential equation, and all that. So all those kind of things. And then you need to know them in the same way. Like I said, they'll ask you any question, they'll ask you the intuition behind, they'll ask you the modification. So you need to be thorough with that. So that is quantum physics portion. Apart from that, they're going to ask you something which you don't know. They explicitly mentioned this. They told us that we will be asking you something that you don't know, and we will test you on the spot how we are going to perform under that interview situation. So they'll ask you, but they'll also tell you from where they will be asking you. They'll be asking you from computer science. When I say computer science, it is not very complex and fancy stuff, but it is basically algorithmic thinking. So let us say you want to divide something, then how does a computer do it? Something like that, okay? So and you cannot predict the kind of questions that they ask, because it is going to be on spot. So for that, I'm not sure how do you prepare for that, because I didn't prepare for that interview, to be very honest. My priority was robotics and IAP, but these are the kind of things that they ask. So this is about quantum and robotics.
Thank you, Sanjiv and Venu. All these are the past interview experiences. So don't expect totally the copy of this. So please try to prepare yourself, not rely only on our experience. And we are happy to take your questions. So if you have any questions, please let us know.
So in YouTube chat, we have some questions like it was somewhat related to gate score and rank. So I would mention about this, like clearing cutoff doesn't mean that you will get an IIT or IISc, or clearing not cutoff also doesn't mean like that. Clearing cutoff means you will get a stipend if you will pursue your MTech or direct PhD or MS in IIT or IISc. If you have not cleared the cutoff, then also you're getting score and rank. It means that you can take admission if you get, if you like clear their test or interview, whatever the procedure is. Like you can get into NITs or IITs if seats are left, but you will not get the stipend. Stipend will only allowed to given to that student who is cleared their cutoff in that gate paper. So I think I have cleared this queries.
Like as the Venu mentioned, I just read on things, and gate basically all IITs like IIT Hyderabad also offered a self-sponsors quota. So if you are not able to clear the gate, so it doesn't mean you don't get admission in IITs. There is some IITs who offer the self-sponsored quota. You can take admission in there. Condition is that you don't get any scholarship on in this type of admission process. So I think there will be a separate seminars will be happen. You can expect. This is all for the IISc. If you have any questions related IISc, you can ask admission process. So again, I am mentioning that please fill the form as soon as possible within deadline. There is a no worry about COAP portal related issues. They will give a separate timeline for updating you your COAP IDs in the admission form. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, no, yeah. Before we go to the next question, hey, can we just clarify this? So, is it like even last years we were getting gate scores and rank even even if they did not clarify? Is that the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so
In my third year, I also didn't qualify the cutoff, but I get the rank and gate score.
okay.
I would mention one thing that if you are not qualifying gate, you are not able to fill the IISc form. So please check the brochure. They only check if you are getting you can check their cutoff list. I mentioned all the things. So if you seeing their cutoff list, they are taking very like they are setting a cutoff like if you are not qualified you are not able to fill the form. So please uh, you can check for different IITs. If you are not qualified, this allowed you to sponsor quota or not, like IIT Hyderabad allow. And I think I'm not sure, please check for IIT Delhi. I think there is a one course IIT Delhi also offered as a self-sponsored quota. Is there any other questions?
So, in IISc, interview will be mostly offline. Um, there is a very limited chance you'll get an online